So I think I'll start by telling you about day one when I moved in at Disney World. On day one, you show up at the apartment complex called Vista Way. I don't even want to get into the details about that place that I know, but if you are going on the college program and you're interested in the details about Vista Way, feel free to message me and I'll let you know all about it. But for the sake of cleanliness on my channel, I'm not going to discuss Vista Way. But you arrive at Vista Way at an ungodly hour in the morning to make sure that you're somewhere in the front of the line so that you can have better choice on your apartment selection. Because of course they have a limited number of apartments, and the better apartments go quicker and you end up left in Vista Way. So I got there, I don't even remember what time, it was like 6:30, something like that, early in the morning, and we arrived and we had to wait in line until 7, I don't remember the exact times, but it was really early. So once we arrived and they finally let the line through, we start going, walking, and finally they say, alright, you can put your luggage over here, and parents, follow us while your kids or your children go and they go sign up and sign papers and get their IDs, and it was a big long process. So there you split ways. You'll see them later. They're not obviously not leaving you for good at that point, but then you split ways and now you go wait in another line. Now you got to go through this long winding line, going through, and at the end they just want to make sure you are who you are and that you belong where you are. After you do that process, you go in through to the next little thing, which has a bunch of papers to sign at a table in this big open area. You go, and it's a ton of papers that you have to sign this round too. There's just a ton of stuff they give to you. You gotta sign it, you gotta say, I agree to these terms, I agree to these terms, I'm not gonna do this in my apartment because I'm not 21, I'm not gonna do this in my apartment because it's illegal, I'm not gonna do this, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do blah 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 blah. A lot of rules and regulations, and I mean an incredibly large amount of rules and regulations. Towards the end of all this, now you finally are done with all your papers, you registered your vehicle so that you can get a little permit thing, stick it on your window, a decal, so that you can go to your apartment complex, and then IDs and whatnot. Then you go to the next room. The next room is a step inside, and you go around this big, giant, square-shaped table with people, in the middle, cubicle type stuff. And you go around, and the first step is to get, you start handing out IDs, you start getting your college program IDs, you start giving out all your information, you get your key, you have to do this Disney Look check where they make sure everything you've done in Disney Look, which I'm not in Disney Look because my hair is way too long. No, my hair is definitely too long for Disney Look. I had to make sure to take my earring out to be in Disney Look for the picture on my ID. Tons of stuff, and you get your key for your apartment, and then they send you out with this little booklet package that's your guide to the Disney College program, which, by the way, was a really terrible guide that didn't help me or any of my roommates at all whatsoever. So I will remember the issues I had on the first couple weeks because I had nothing to tell me how to do this. I had question after question after question that was not answered in the book, and there just was no place to get the answers. So I will try to go through and remember all those questions I had, and then I will answer those in a later video. But anyway, so now I've got this booklet, and I've got to go outside and have a group meeting where we ask questions and talk about where we're going to be well, actually no, we don't know where we're going to be working yet. We just know what job we've been hired for, and we talk about where we're going to stay, blah 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 blah. So I get through that little table group meeting thing, and then as I'm walking away, someone around my table, I have no idea who my roommates are. Some people went having contacted people and saying, hey, let's room together, blah 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 blah. I was just pick of the litter, random, whoever's there, I get them, right? Well, this guy happened to have been peeking at my book, which I guess is a totally normal thing because you want to know who your roommates are going to be, and he realized, hey, you're in the same room that I am, and then he points me to another roommate of mine. So there, I've already met 2 of my 3 roommates that I'm going to have right there in the first little while. And then there was the process of waiting for our bus to take us to casting. Casting is a cool Argyle-style building labeled casting right across the street from downtown Disney. that's the place where you go make your fingerprints. They do a background check. They make sure you're going to fill out all your papers for your job itself and not just your apartments and stuff. And they make sure everything's good, and they tell you all about it. A lot of paper signing and a lot of stuff. But the good news is that the first little while in casting is when you find out where you're going to be working. So you go through that whole process, figure out where you're going to be working, get your fingerprints taken, and here's where I have a fun story to tell you, and this is where I'll end it here. Basically, casting is a long, arduous process that there's not much point getting into, except for when I had my fingerprints taken. I had my fingerprints taken by Bree. Let me tell you a little bit about Bree. So this is Disney, and Disney is all about accepting all ways of life, right? All ways of life must be accepted at Disney, which is fine. I understand that. In this day and age, you can't really do anything against anyone or say anything against anyone or hold anything against anyone. You know, you have to all be okay with every walk of life. And well, honestly, I don't. Okay, I'll tell you this. Bree was obviously originally a male. Bree was probably about 50 or 60 years old, obviously a chain smoker since the age of 3, and had breasts this large, long hair, ear piercings, a very deep, manly voice, and was just all around generally creepy. I mean, I get that. I don't like to hold anything against anyone for whatever. I mean, I have my own views, sure, but that doesn't mean I have the right to force that on anyone else. That's fine, but I'm not gonna lie, I was still extremely creeped out by this man-girl thing that was taking my fingerprints, and the first thing is like, alright, are you gonna behave? I'm like, yes, I'm gonna behave! Alright, then we're absolutely gonna make sure that you get your fingerprints done in one round. I've had kids giving me trouble. All these people around here are beep and beep and beep, and they don't know what they're doing, and you better. If I have to redo one single one of your fingers, then I'm going to make sure you aren't hired. Okay, Bree, okay, we'll take care of this nice and good. I mean, I had people watching me. They could see what was going on, and I was like, ah! Needless to say, I had perfect fingerprint taking, and I got to get away, and I never saw Bree again. But, I was really scared because I didn't know what to say. I really didn't know. I was like, okay, or I didn't know. Do I say yes, sir? Do I say yes, ma'am? I was just confused because it was clearly a man who wanted to be a woman, and anyway, yeah, it was all kind of, I didn't know how to take it, and it was tough and scary. But anyway, that's my first day at Disney. You'll be hearing more from me later. Fun stories, lots of fun stuff that happened to me at Disney. See you later.